Hello everyone. In today's class, we'll discuss about inverse Z transform. So in the last class, we discussed about the properties of Z transform, and we solved problems on properties of Z transform and problems of Z transform. Now today we will discuss on inverse Z transform. There are different methods are there to obtain the inverse Z transform, like inspection method, then partial fraction method, then power series expansion method. Now we already the Z transform of equation. Z transform of x of n is x of z, and it is given by x of z is equal to the summation over n form minus infinity plus infinity x of n z to the power minus n. And its inverse Z transform is given by the inverse Z transform means you're converting a z domain into a time domain signal. So given signal will be x of z, and you're obtaining x of n. The equation used to obtain the inverse Z transform is the x of n is equal to 1 by 2 pi j, the closed integral x of z, z to the power n minus 1 into dz. Here x of z is the input x of z, that is z transform of x of n, and here using a closed integral to obtain the inverse Z transform. Here note that the mathematical operation for the inverse Z transform is circular integration instead of summation. This is due to the continuous value of z. The equation you're using to obtain the inverse Z transform. Now, but if I'll use this equation and do calculation of the inverse Z transform of any signal is difficult. So there are some other methods we'll use to obtain the inverse Z transform. The one is directly by looking at the table, and based on the ROC we'll obtain the inverse Z transform. The second method is we'll use the partial fraction method. We'll bring it to the standard form, then based on different conditions we'll apply the partial fraction method. The last one is power series or long division method. Here it shows Z transform a table, and in the first column the different signal is given, that is x of n, and the second column Z transform of x, Z transform, that is the transform of x of n, that is x of z, and third column are given the ROC. Now we know that the Z transform delta of n is 1, and its ROC is all the values of z. And one more standard signal is unit step function. Z transform is given by 1 by 1 minus z inverse, and ROC is absolute value of z is greater than 1. The third signal we will consider a to the power n into of n, and its Z transform is 1 by 1 minus az inverse, and its ROC is given by the magnitude of z is greater than the magnitude of a. So it is a right-sided sequence. For right-sided sequence, always ROC is outside the circle, and if the radius a. Similarly, for a left-sided sequence, it is given by minus a to the power n u of minus n minus 1, and that Z transform is given by 1 minus az inverse. And by looking at the ROC will be given by the mod z less than mod a. You know that the Z transform of right-sided sequence and left-sided sequence The answers are same. By looking into the ROC, we'll consider whether it is the left side or right sided sequence. The fifth signal will consider n into a to the power n into u of n, and you know that the Z transform of that is given by AZ inverse divided by 1 minus AZ inverse whole square, and its ROC is given by mod Z greater than mod A. Similarly, the minus n a to the power n u of minus n minus 1, its Z transform is given by AZ inverse divided by 1 minus AZ inverse whole square, and ROC is given by mod Z less than mod A. It is a left-sided sequence. Then we'll consider a sinusoidal signal. The sinusoidal signal, one is cosine signal, other one is a sine. Cos omega naught n into u of n, and its Z transform is given by 1 minus Z inverse cos omega naught divided by 1 minus 2 Z inverse cos omega naught plus Z to the power minus 2. And the ROC will be given by the mod Z is greater than 1. Because of u of n, the ROC will consider it as a right-sided sequence. The next signal is the sine omega naught n into u of n, and its Z transform is given by Z inverse sine omega naught divided by 1 minus 2 Z inverse cos omega naught plus Z to the power minus 2. And the ROC will be given by mod Z is greater than 1. Then sinusoidal signal is multiplied with the exponential sequence. It is a to the power n cos omega naught n into u of n. Its Z transform is given by 1 minus AZ inverse cos omega naught divided by 1 minus 2a Z inverse cos omega naught plus a square Z to the power minus 2. If I look at the equation numbers 7 and equation number 9, the changes is here we are multiplying with a. Here multiplying with a. In the denominator also you can observe there are 2a, and here you will get a square. And its ROC is mod Z is greater than mod A. The next on the exponential signal is multiplied with the sinusoidal signal, that is a to the power n sine omega naught n u of n. The Z transform is given by AZ inverse sine omega naught divided by 1 minus 2a Z inverse cos omega naught plus a square Z to the power minus 2. And its ROC is mod Z is greater than mod A. Again, you can observe here the signal is multiplied with the A. And if we'll compare equation number 8 and equation number 10, signal is multiplied with the A. And here it is the denominator also 1 minus 2a Z inverse cos omega naught plus a square Z to the power minus 2. So you can observe the denominator for a cos and sine signal is same. This is called as Z transform pair, and if I know this table correctly, then I can obtain the inverse Z transform directly. Based on the ROC, if it is greater than condition, we will consider it as a right-sided sequence. If it is less than condition, we will consider it as left-sided sequence. And we solved some of the problems in the Z transform. Then we used the properties of Z transform to obtain the Z transform of a sinusoidal signal, then the ramp signal, then we use the unit step function and all. Now, based on that, now we'll obtain the inverse Z transform. So first we'll discuss about the partial fraction method, then we'll discuss about the power series expansion method. In the partial fraction method, here we'll use the h of z. H of z, we'll call it as a transfer function. It's also called as a system function. Generally, this h of z will be represented by the ratio of output by input. This Z transform of output, that is y of z, and divided by the Z transform of input x of z. And it can be represented in terms of polynomial equation also, the rational polynomial equation. So in general, the h of z is represented by b0 plus b1 z inverse plus so on, plus bm z to the power minus m divided by a naught plus a1 z inverse plus so on e to the power n, sorry, a n z to the power minus n. So in general, you can write it as summation k is equal to 0 to m bk z to the power minus k divided by a summation over k equal to 0 to n ak z to the power minus k. And here the bk is the coefficients of the numerator polynomial, the ak is the coefficients of denominator polynomial. And this is called as a transfer function, and that is h of z. And based on this, either they will give an equation in terms of x of z or h of z, and should convert it to the standard rational function. Then based on that, you apply the partial fraction method. So there are different conditions are there based on the order of the numerator and denominator, and generally we will call the order of the numerator as m and the order of the denominator is capital M. Now based on the equation what we discussed, the three cases will be discussed. One is the n is greater than m and all poles are different. When order of the denominator is greater than the numerator and all the poles are distinct, then we can apply partial fraction method directly. So if the order of the denominator is n and the order of the numerator is m, if n is greater than m and all the poles are distinct, then you can apply the partial fraction directly. The second condition is m is greater than or equal to n. If order of numerator and denominator are equal or greater than and all poles are different, then it's not possible to apply the partial fraction method directly. So you need to convert convert by using a log division method in such a way that order of the numerator should be less than the denominator. That is second condition. And third one, more than one poles are similar. The similar poles are present at one location. So the three conditions, and we'll discuss the problems on this. For the three conditions we'll discuss, one is with the n is greater than m. The second condition is with the m is greater than or equal to n, or n is less than or equal to m. Then with the more than one poles, just similar. So the first problem is you find the inverse Z transform of the following sequence. That is x of z is equal to 1 by 4 z inverse divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse into 1 minus 1 by 4 z inverse. With ROC, the three cases they given, the mod z is greater than 1 by 2. Second one is mod z is less than 1 by 4. And third condition is mod z is greater than 1 by 4 and less than 1 by 2. Okay, to apply the partial fraction method, first you need to check the order of the numerator and denominator. So in this case, the order of the numerator is 1, whereas the order of the denominator is 2, because if I multiply this first term and second term, we'll get the equation as in terms of z to the power minus 2. So order of the denominator is 2, whereas order of the numerator is 1. So you can apply the partial fraction method directly. Now to apply the partial fraction method, I write in a general form. So x of z is equal to a divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse plus b divided by 1 minus 1 by 4 z inverse. You can use some other constant also. You can use k1, k2, a1, a2 and all problem. So here I used a and b. So you need to find out the values of a and b. To obtain A and B, I just cross multiply this equation. It is A into 1 minus 1 by 4 Z inverse plus B into 1 minus 1 by 2 Z inverse is equal to 1 by 4 Z inverse. Now to find out the values of A and B, first I'll consider here Z inverse is equal to 4. So if I put Z inverse is equal to 4 in this equation, then 4 divided by 4 will get 1 minus 1, 0. So the first term is 0 here. The second term will get 4 divided by 2, so it is 1 minus 2. So B into 1 minus 2 is equal to, the right hand side will get 1. So what is B now? B is equal to minus 1. Now to find the values of A, I'll put Z inverse is equal to 2. If I'll put Z inverse is equal to 2 in this equation, I'll get 1 minus 2 by 4. So it is 1 by 2. So A into 1 minus 1 by 2. And what about the second term? The second term is, if I'll put 2 here, the 2 by 2 is 1. 1 minus 1, 0. So the second term will become 0. And the right hand side will get 1 by 2. Now here it is 1 by 2 divided by 1 by 2. So the answer is 1. Now I'll substitute in this equation, x sub z equation, that is A is 1 and B is minus 1. I'll substitute in that. So 1 divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse plus minus 1 divided by 1 minus 4 z inverse. So this is my equation. Now based on the ROC, I have to take the inverse Z transform. Now 3 conditions is mentioned there. I will consider the first condition, the first case, case 1. The ROC is mod Z is greater than 1 by 2. So there are 2 poles are present. One is at 1 by 4, other one is at 1 by 2. And we know that 1 by 2 is greater than 1 by 4. So ROC is outside the circle with the radius 1 by 2. So both the poles will lie inside that. So ROC will be the outside the circle, and this, the shaded region indicates that it is a ROC, and here I mentioned the pole, that is 1 by 2. So ROC will be outside the circle, and you know that for a right sided sequence, or if it is a ROC is outside, then we'll get the sequence as a right sided sequence. Is you should multiply a sequence with U of n. Now taking inverse Z transform of that equation, x of z equation, I'll get x of n is equal to 1 by 2 to the power n U of n minus 1 by 4 to the power n U of n. You know that the Z transform of a to the power n into U of n is given by 1 divided by 1 minus a Z inverse. The standard form. If I have used that equation, then if I'll compare with the Z transform of a to the power n into U of n, then I'll get here, the here I'll use 1 by 2, and here it is 1 by 4. So both are right sided sequence here. The second condition, they given mod z is less than 1 by 4. Mod z is less than 1 by 4, and here if I'll draw the ROC here, I'll draw a circle with the radius 1 by 4, and the ROC is inside the circle here. ROC is inside the circle with the radius 1 by 4, and if it is inside the circle, generally we will get it as left sided sequence. Now left sided sequence, you know the general form of left sided sequence, that is from the table you can observe that minus a to the power n U of minus n minus 1, Z transform is given by 1 by 1 minus a Z inverse. Now if I take the inverse Z transform of the equation x of z, I will get x of n is equal to minus 1 by 2 to the power n U of minus n minus 1, it is minus a to the power n U of minus n minus 1, and here also minus into minus, it is plus 1 by 4 to the power n U of minus n minus 1. This is for the second condition with ROC is less than 1 by 4, and here you can observe both are left sided sequence. So the ROC is here less than condition, less than 1 by 4. The lowermost pole is 1 by 4 here. So both will get left-sided sequence. Now the third condition is here the given ROC is mod Z is greater than 1 by 4 and mod Z is less than 1 by 2. So if I'll consider this, if I consider it individually, then it is magnitude of Z is greater than 1 by 4. Another one is mod Z is less than 1 by 2. So one is a right-sided sequence, other one is a left-sided sequence. If I'll consider in the Z plane, and I'll draw two circles with a radius 1 by 4 and 1 by 2, and for the pole 1 by 4 it is outside the circle, that is because it is greater than 1 by 4. For a pole 1 by 2 it is inside the circle. So ROC is a concentric ring. So I'll get a both-sided sequence. So one will get right-sided sequence, other one will get it as a left-sided sequence. So here one is Z, mod Z is greater than 1 by 4. So this second term is your right-sided sequence, whereas first term is your left-sided sequence because mod Z is less than 1 by 2. Now if I take the inverse Z transform of x sub Z, I'll get minus 1 by 2 to the power n u of minus n minus 1 minus 1 by 4 n 1 by 4 to the power n u of n. So all the possibilities is given in this problem. The first one, the mod Z is greater than 1 by 2. If I'll consider greater than condition, greater than the outermost pole, then we'll get right-sided sequence. If we'll consider less than condition, that is lowermost pole, then I'll get left-sided sequence. And third condition is the one is right-sided, other one is left-sided. If I'll combine it, we'll get both-sided sequence. It's about the inverse Z transform of given x of Z. And the second problem is you find the Z transform of the following sequence. X of Z is equal to minus 1 plus 5Z inverse divided by 1 minus 3 by 2 Z inverse plus 1 by 2 Z to the power minus 2. The ROC is mod Z is greater than 1. Now to apply partial fraction method, I have to check the order of the numerator and denominator. Here the order of the numerator is 1, whereas the order of the denominator is 2. So you can apply partial fraction method directly. Now second step is you need to find out the roots of this equation, roots of the denominator, and this is a characteristics equation. By using a quadratic equation you can find out the roots, and you can use a calculator also to find out the roots here, and you can obtain your, this is the ax squared plus bx plus c. Right, so if I substitute in the calculator, I'll get the roots as 2 and 1. So this is, if I consider this is a, this is b, this is c, then I'll get the roots as 2 and 1. And because this equation is mentioned in terms of inverse power of z, I'll take the inverse of this. So it is 1 by 2 and 1. Now after finding the roots, I'll write it in a general form, that is x of z is equal to minus 1 plus 5z inverse divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse into 1 minus z inverse. To cross verify the roots, just multiply these two terms and you'll get the given denominator here. Multiply these two equations, then I should, if I multiply these two terms, then I should get this equation. Now I'll apply the partial fraction method. I'll consider the two constant. It is a divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse plus b divided by 1 minus z inverse. And cross multiplying this, you'll get this a into 1 minus z inverse plus b into 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse is equal to minus 1 plus pi z inverse. Now again, to find the values of a and b, I'll consider z inverse is equal to 1 in this equation. So I'll get 1 minus 1, it is first term is 0. I'll get b is equal to b into 1 minus 1 by 2 is equal to 4. Therefore b is 8. Again, to find the value of a, put z inverse is equal to 2. We'll get a into 1 minus 2. In the second term here, I'll substitute 2 here. 2 divided by 2, it is 1 minus 1, 0. So second term will get 0. Therefore, you'll get, at the right hand side, you'll get minus 1 plus 5 into 2. So it is 9. So easy, you'll get minus 9. So therefore, x of z is equal to minus 9 divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse plus a divided by 1 minus z inverse. Now the given ROC is mod z is greater than 1. And here I know that there are two poles are there. One is at 1, other one is at 1 by 2. Now 1 is greater than 1 by 2, so the one considered as outermost pole. Now I'll mention the ROC here. I'll draw a circle with a radius 1, and ROC I'll mention outside the circle. Both the poles lie inside the circle with a radius 1. Now I'll take the inverse transform of this equation. Then I'll get x of n is equal to minus 9 into 1 by 2 to the power n u of n plus 8 into u of n. So this is 1 by 1 minus z inverse. You know that the z transform of u of n is given by 1 by 1 minus z inverse. I'll apply that, so I directly can write it as u of n. In the same problem, if they'll give a ROC as mod z is less than 1 by 2, then you'll get both are left sided sequence. So at that time the answer will be the x of n is equal to minus into minus it is plus, so 9 into 1 by 2 to the power n u of minus n minus 1 minus 8 into u of minus n minus 1. And one more possibility with the ROC is mod z is greater than 1 by 2 and less than 1. So based on the ROC, here I will obtain the inverse z transform of given x of z. So if I know the table and I know the z transform from standard signal, I can apply inverse z transform directly. So in this class, there's some other problems on inverse z transform. The order is order of numerator and denominator is equal, and the order of the numerator is greater than the denominator. Thank you.